Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. If I owned a $200,000 watch, I'd trade it for something far more practical, like DeMarcus Lawrence's autograph, Perna. We've got interesting NFL news to cover today, and yes, reset the Antonio Brown counter back to 0 damn days without mentioning AB for a significant reason. Yes, the newest. Antonio Brown has been accused of sexual assault and rape in a civil lawsuit. So this should be a fun, lighthearted episode of That's Good Sports. Please, if you're new to this YouTube channel, subscribe. I do NFL news pretty much every dang day. Every dang day I do NFL news. Also, your 8-bit t-shirts, links are below, and there's the Teespring store, so if you're looking to get the 8-bit designs, that's where you can do it. And I do have big dick Patreon shoutouts for the Neela, Kyle Delgado, upping from $25 to $40. What are you doing, Kyle? Good Lord, you are a kind man. Clarence C. Gilbert and Trenton Bless. No, bless you, Trenton. Thank you guys so much for your donations. Patreon.com/ThatsGoodSports. That's how you support this channel. I will be doing another FanDuel League this week for all the $5 patrons if you guys want to join. Cowboys edge rusher DeMarcus Lawrence refused to sign an autograph for a kid because the kid was wearing a Giants jersey. This occurred right after the Cowboys embarrassed New York in the season opener.
Get the right jersey, sir.
Looks like the kid's mom actually pushes him towards the Wolves with encouragement. Go ahead, little Timmy. They won't bite.
Get the right jersey, sir.
Oh, but they do bite, and it hurts, as the sadness in this kid's face shows. That's some cold shit from DeMarcus Lawrence. On the other hand, how can you expect to get a Cowboys autograph while wearing a Saquon Barkley jersey? It's like trying to get into Palestine with an I Love Israel shirt. Who does this kid think DeMarcus Lawrence is? J.J. Watt? Sure, J.J. Watt made Saint Punter Thomas Morestead's kid cry before the game after knocking his lollipop to the ground with a football. But then Watt went over to the kid and gave him his warm-up gloves and said, "Hey, stop crying, you little shit. I raised $41.6 million for Hurricane Harvey. And if you don't wipe those soft tears from your face, I'll buy another hurricane and send it to your house." Of course, the biased media won't reveal that info because hurricane funding J.J. Watt can do no wrong in their eyes. Again, this is DeMarcus Lawrence not giving a child in a Giants jersey an autograph. Also, DeMarcus Lawrence. Glad to see DeMarcus Lawrence will take the time to give a grown man an autograph. A grown man who tried to destroy you in a game. But you can't throw a bone to a brave kid who for whatever dumb reason chose to be a Giants fan in Texas during the Eli decline? He probably prefers Memphis to Texas style barbecue too, so show a little sympathy for the fish out of water. I do have an important Gardner Minshew update. Per a Deadspin article by a writer who refuses to give me the time of day, I learned that Gardner's full name is Gardner Flint Minshew II. His full name is basically everything you need to survive on Naked and Afraid. And that's not even the exciting part. As amazing as the name Gardner is, and as perfect as his mustache is for that name, his grandfather wanted to name him Beowulf. I now present the Super Bowl MVP trophy award to Beowulf. Is the most natural sentence anybody could say in football history. And I am man enough to realize when I can't make a joke or story better than the internet. And John's Roast Pork in the NFL Reddit provided a Gardner Minshew masterpiece when he posted. So here's the thing. A poster in another thread said Minshew looks like he could be a gunslinger from the 1800s or a bounty hunter from the year 2058. This got me thinking, what if Minshew exists outside of space and time? What if he looks ageless because he is in fact ageless? What if Gardner Minshew has been traveling through time from era to era, trying out different professions, and he has just happened to land in our timeline as an NFL quarterback? But then the question is, why? Why is Minshew moving around the space-time continuum? What's he looking for? Well, I'll tell you the answer, boys. To fuck moms. Gardner Minshew has spent millennia traveling through time, setting himself up to bang the tastiest MILFs throughout history. That's my favorite thing I've read in a while. And nothing makes me happier than Gardner Minshew becoming popular. Now, reformed MILF hunter Odell Beckham Jr. played week 1 with a $200,000 watch on his wrist. This is a violation of league rules, obviously, but Beckham says the league can't tell him nothing. The loophole is that jewelry is allowed to be worn, as Michael Crabtree has taught us all, and refs apparently deemed the watch to be jewelry. Beckham said that this wouldn't be an issue if it was another player or if it were a $20 watch. And that's only partially true because JJ Watt could wear whatever he wants. But he's the only one, Odell. The issue is that it is a safety hazard. But in a post-Antonio Brown world, this is the most reasonable thing a wide receiver has said in months. I don't really understand the need for a watch on the football field, though. The clock is on the scoreboard, the play clock is in the end zone, and the sound of Browns fans booing tells you it's already the second quarter. Now, I would like to imagine a corner who was covering OBJ and him genuinely asking for the time. Hey, Odell, before Baker snaps the ball, could you tell me what time it is real quick? Yeah, dog, it's 2:38. No, man, West Coast time. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. You spent 200 G's on a watch that doesn't even do different time zones? God, it's useless. Let me reach into my jock strap for my freaking pocket watch. This is why I asked you for the time. It's 11:38 over there, Odell. Useless, Odell. You're useless. Question for the NFL, though. If this is a legit safety concern, what's the worst watch injury? A broken hand? A broken face? What's the most important thing for quarterbacks and wide receivers, besides making sure Hugh Jackson isn't their head coach? It's timing, so maybe Odell is ahead of the curve. Second most important thing is knowing how to properly tackle a defensive back when your quarterback throws a pick like DeAndre Hopkins. Oh God, I love DeAndre. Everything he does is awesome. So much of him is what I can never be. And in the epitome of Cleveland Browns incompetence, they banned Eric Smith from ever attending a game. The fan who threw the beer in Logan Ryan's face. If you remember, I showed you this clip in a previous episode. Well, it turns out Eric Smith, the guy they banned, hasn't been to a Browns game since 2010. To be fair to Cleveland, I can see how they confused these two men. All bearded men do look alike, and I can say that. Johnathan Abram tore his rotator cuff and labrum in the first quarter of the Broncos Raiders game. He played through the entire game, but is likely to miss the rest of the season. Abram showed why he has a reputation as a big hitter, and he showed why he has a reputation for taking out his own guys, which he earned on the first episode of Hard Knocks. The good news is Raiders corner Garyon Conley, who suffered a scary neck injury in the game when Abram's leg accidentally whipped his head, should be okay and could be back on the field by next week. Abram posted this picture of his bent face mask on Instagram. We get it, the face mask is bent. You hit hard, you're tough. But as an Italian American, I find the comment lopsided very offensive. Speaking of offensive, Tyreek Hill will miss 4 to 6 weeks with his sternoclavicular, his shoulder injury, which he avoided being put on IR, so good news for the Chiefs. Now, Patriots traded Demaryius Thomas to the Jets because they think Antonio Brown is better than Demaryius Thomas. This trade happened in most hilarious fashion just hours before the Antonio Brown news dropped. I'm guessing that had the Patriots known this, they would have hung on to DT for dear life. Instead, he goes to the Jets, which marks the first time Bill Belichick has made a trade with the Jets since becoming the Pats head coach. I guess that doesn't include when he traded himself from the Jets to the Patriots, though. Now, before we get to Antonio Brown, I need to ask a serious football question. How did O.J. Simpson's fantasy team do this week?
That whole Antonio Brown saga sort of worked in my favor. I picked up Tyrell Williams, the other receiver there, and he had a great game for me. Now I have both him, still have Michael Thomas. And this week, not long ago, a few hours ago, I'm wondering, should I play Antonio Brown as my flex next week? Then I saw where somebody accused Antonio of rape now, but I don't know how that's gonna affect him this week. I'm hoping it's not true. Nothing I know about Antonio would make me think he would do something like that. But, you know, as Antonio Brown turns, is where we're living now. I hope it's not true. I'm just saying. Take care.
Why is he laughing? What world is this? And when will Gardner Minshew fix it? Can Gardner tell us what happens to AB in the future?
I hope it's not true. I'm just saying.
Now, here are the facts of the Antonio Brown rape lawsuit. The civil suit claims that Brown sexually assaulted Brittany Taylor 3 times between June of 2017 and May of 2018. Brown and Taylor knew each other in college, and Brown hired her as his personal trainer. Brown denies every statement in the lawsuit and has countersued his accuser for civil extortion, which is to say he thinks she's making this up for the purpose of a financial settlement. Apparently, the same thing happened to Derrick Rose in terms of a civil suit being filed without a prior police report. It should be noted that this is a lawsuit and not criminal charges. I think there's a difference there. Antonio Brown liking that tweet, though, about Mike Mayock getting raped in the ass would be the most poorly timed like of a tweet in Twitter history. AB knew this lawsuit was coming. He was allegedly the only one who did know. So liking that tweet, in my opinion, makes him even dumber than I thought he was yesterday. This is a tricky situation, so we have to be careful. On one hand, we have to take the accusation seriously. But we also have to give Antonio Brown due process and not let this case be colored by his football-related insanity over the past few months, or the fact that we legitimately don't like him as a person. Both sides need to be heard out. The NFL is considering putting AB on the commissioner's exempt list, which means he may not play until this case is resolved if that happens, which could take months or even years. As of today, though, Antonio Brown was practicing with the Patriots. Those are the facts. Oh, wait. Also, New England released a statement saying, "The NFL has made us aware of the lawsuit, and we firmly believe it is not sexual assault if it's a massage parlor prostitute." Oh, wait, sorry. This is our Robert Kraft response notes. Just say we're fucking focusing on Miami, please. Finally, the Texans cut slot corner Aaron Colvin after Monday night's debacle against the Saints. Colvin was just 1 year into a 4-year, $34 million deal. People have called this an emotional move that a coach would make if he had the power. And he does in this case because it's Bill O'Brien and the Texans still don't have a GM. Houston still owes Colvin $7.5 million this year. How many players are the Texans paying to not be on their team? Probably enough to cover the salary of a proper GM. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Share this video with your mom if you think she might be interested in Gardner Minshew. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, @BrandonPerna if you want to follow and talk football to me there. Also, make sure you follow @WillKey6. He's my writing partner. Following him makes us both happy.